Wait a second, it says we're live. That's crazy. I just pressed the button myself. Let's hope it works out, everybody. Hi, how you doing? Hope it is working. If it isn't, please, for God's sakes, let me know before this gets any worse than it has to be. Hello, hello, how are you? Is this coming through okay? I'm gonna just sit here and chill for a hot minute. Well, folks, may give it a few more minutes, and then we will get started. I see numbers of people in the room going up. That's intimidating. Hello, howdy. How are you? Hello, I heard Bachman lost his voice. That is what I heard too, although he did not tell me. I'm just kidding. He DM'd me. He asked me to fly solo, and, you know, he got my back when I messed up my ankle last week, so it's only fair. We have a few people in the room now. I'm going to go ahead and start. Hi, everybody. If you're unaware or if you're new, my name is June. I am one half of Game Crimes with Mike. Mike was here last week doing Star Fox, which was a very, very cool stream. Tonight, we had to throw something together a little last minute, as Mike is under the weather. He has some sort of mouth, neck thing. I don't have more details, and frankly, I don't care to know. So what we're going to do tonight is play a English translation of a game called SNK vs. Capcom Card Fighters Clash 2. Now, the first version of this game was recently re-released on the Switch and PC, I believe, through Steam. But was originally developed for the Neo Geo Pocket Color, which was a competitor to Nintendo's Game Boy and Game Gear in the late 90s. The Neo Pocket Color had about 50 or so games that came out for it. It was only here for a few years, but in those handful of years, really managed to put together a really solid catalog of games. And this just happens to be one of my favorites. It's better than the first one by far, and this English translation that we're working off of is honestly functional, more than functional in some cases, but it allows the game to be enjoyed, which is the most important part. As you can see, you've already got some artifacting on the save game menu. That's just going to happen sometimes when you're running into translation patches that struggle between the two categories of alphabet. So, or multiple alphabets for that matter. So I'm going to go ahead and erase this past game. As you can see, we named our card fighter after the illustrious John Cena. One thing I really love about this game is that the UI is just super slick. Ricky. Ricky. I don't like Ricky as a name. You know, nothing against all y'all Rickies out there. You know, Mike can't be here tonight, so we're gonna name our character in his honor. You know, the way he would have done it. His classic character, Borf Fucko. To be a more whimsical, childlike version of Borf. I am really struggling with this letter screen. There we go. It's like I just learned the dang alphabet. And everybody let me know if the audio is causing you any difficulties, whether with hearing me or it's too quiet. It's hard to tell on my end, but I'm happy to tweak it. We're going to be playing this game tonight through the use of the Neopop emulator, which is, as far as I can tell, pretty much perfectly functional on Windows as well as Android. Thanks, Farm Guy. Appreciate it. Nice to see you. Borf Senpai! Well, well, well. We're starting off spicy. Principal Lip is waiting. Ruchello says when you're used to QWERTY, A to Z messes you up. That's true. I know when I was in another country, they used a different keyboard layout, and it was quite upsetting. In this case, they left a space between every other letter, I think because the alphabets are larger than the ones we're using, so half of the spaces were blank spaces, half the spaces were letters, and it didn't really line up one-to-one. A little hard to tell. Yo, Principal has a pet squirrel. Just to let you know what you're getting into. See, one of the reasons why I love this game is the nonsensical story has to be a part of it. Look, you know this guy is serious when he, after he beats you, he just walks away and nothing happens. There's zero consequences to you losing, or he's not even going to take anything from you. You don't have to, like, give him anything. This guy's so bad, he just walks away. Taking cards without battling. That's against the Battler's Code. Borf Senpai. So your motivation is not to become the best card fighter, or even to get your cards back from this roguish, handsome card bandit, but it's actually to make sure that, like, you get all the club dues in high school, because half the people aren't paying their fair share, and, you know, They're walking around with that money in their pocket, not contributing to members of, like a normal member of society would. The honor society is in shambles. You are down with that, am I right? The down with that in quotes is doing a lot for me, I gotta admit. I can choose cards from SNK or Capcom. Says it's very pandering. Pandering to who, I'm unsure, but you're not wrong. Alright, so are we doing SNK or Capcom? You know, if we rip their hearts out and we put them on the scale like Anubis, whose heart weighs more? One's literally tied to like a nasty political regime. I guess we're going Capcom. JK, we're going SNK, you know this. Come on. It depends if one of them has a medical condition. I mean, SNK's been on its deathbed for about 25 years, so, it's a real fighter. So, it wanted to take me through the tutorial. I assume an enlarged heart weighs more, or is it just volume? I don't know if the mythology goes so deep into that. I'm pretty sure it's number of sins. But, it could just be mass and volume, in which case, like, Anubis is pretty brutal. Because that's just like a coin flip, really. So I'll go ahead and skip the tutorial here. I've played this game a billion times, and the last thing we need after all this is another text wall. We can just walk you through it as we play. The nice thing about this game is that the rule set is very easy to understand. There's not a whole lot going on here. That's not to say it's poorly designed. I think it's quite elegant in what it's trying to do here. Mythology is a baller way to describe medical science. You know what, man? That's a commentary on society. Going to a 4-year medical school for the lore. Oh, man. I don't want to know what deep medical lore is. I heard, like, if I read an article with too many details about surgery in it, I start sweating. Alright, so we've got our board in front of us here. There are 3 slots on the table for each player. Each corresponds to a slot that a card can be played into. We can play 1 card per turn that's a character, and then we have the option of playing other cards like these action cards if we have the currency to pay for them. So let's put this guy out first, Marco. If you don't recognize him, if he's from Metal Slug. Good hair, If you take a look at him here, you can kind of zoom on every card individually. Just let that sit there for a second while I read the chat. It's supposed to be the weight of your conscience or something. It's gotta weigh less than a feather, or they feed your soul to a crocodile. I am croc food. Real quick. That's not even like... That's not up for debate. So if we're looking at the card over here, we have a couple of things going on. The BP, which represents how much damage it does in battle, but also how much damage it can take. And the SP, which is kind of like a currency. When you play this guy, he gives you +2 SP. And the SP can be used on character abilities or casting action or reaction cards. There's also a little red square that represents a special ability, but we can't use it on the turn we play him anyway, so we're just going to skip by. The other cards in my deck cost SP to play, the ones that aren't characters, and the ones that are characters give me SP to play. So it's kind of like a sort of a snowball-y mechanic. Just because we have an SP card in the hand, I'm going to look at what it does. Characters in your ring don't freeze after a single attack. I'm going to skip on playing that now, and the turn, it'll pass over to my loyal nerd friend. Al and Ivan. It's deep, deep, deep lore from Red Earth. CPS 3. Got another round to play. We can play Kathy or Lee Pylon. They both got good hair, but she's got better hair, so we're going to put her down here. And then, you know, like in a lot of these games, the goal is to attack the opponent. So the opponent's got 1000 HP, Marco's got 400 BP. If I successfully attack, I'm going to deal 400 damage. The other player also has the ability to counterattack. They're going to fight. They're going to exchange battle power. And that'll be the combat. It's a very simple system. That's, you know, very limited in terms of how long it takes because of how many characters you can have to play at once. But that also means that there's a definite strategy to ensuring that what you do put into the ring is useful at the moment that you're playing it. TCG idea. Your doctors who are both injured and you're hate healing each other. That would be sick, actually. Power creep is when, like, you give each other robot arms. So once you're actually like in the game itself, you can see that the translation does a really good job of ensuring that the game is super playable. You can tell what these cards do and how to play them, and you know it's not hard to figure it out just from looking. But having the extra language there really does help with comprehension. I just played my card for the turn, Lee Pylon. I've got all 3 characters in my ring. I can also, with this last character in my hand, do something called back up a card that's in play. There's one character who is eligible, you can see here, back up Kathy. And by backing Kathy up, I'm discarding Basara from my hand, throwing it in the discard pile, and then Kathy gets a permanent bonus equal to their BP. You can't do that for every character. As you can see, each character has a select list of people that they will back up with, which is where a lot of the interesting deck building elements of the game come in. Because you obviously want cards that are going to combo well with each other, and cards that are going to be able to back each other up, and they're not necessarily the same cards. So there's one last thing we can do with our SP that's quite handy. It's called the Unite attack, and it allows characters to attack as one big pile of character. So they'd be considered one character when it comes to blocking. And when they're united, even if they're blocked, all of the excess damage goes through. Oh shit, I just noticed Borf. That's right, we threw it up in tribute to our fallen friend Mike Bachman. He somehow came down with like horse laryngitis or something. I don't know. You know, we're hoping the best for him. Nope, no clue. Not even looking. It's quite patronizing of her to say, "You hung in there, so here's a card." Like, I stepped on her. Yeah, that's the boy right there. We know this guy. We know this guy. As you can see, the numbers are very large. I said Ken. Ken? You know, daring statement here to make in front of this audience, but Ken is like only half as drippy as Terry. Sorry. Terry's got the fashion sense. Pardon me 1 second, I have to get my cats away from the cables. Street Fighter 4 Pink Cowboy Ken. Well, that's correct, actually. I can't disagree with that. They also constantly call you Borf Senpai, which is very good. So this is our overworld? I just gotta give this game like several points on its report cards for excellent use of pastels. Look at that. Ooh, that's soft. That's ice cream. That's sherbet, baby. And we're going to Joyful Fountain to solve a crime. For the world's sake, I would bring judgment. This guy stole a handful of magic cards. I'm gonna cut his head off. Whoa. This guy is just accusing a common variety garden ninja of doing serious crimes. Yeah, exactly. I'm glad the ninja's standing up for himself. I like the step from like I'm accusing you of a crime to let's solve this with a card game. Bachman says, what if you could get out of speeding tickets by beating a cop at Yu-Gi-Oh? I'm not going to be the one to try. I gotta be honest. Mostly because I don't know Yu-Gi-Oh. I don't trust in the heart of the cards. I don't trust the usefulness of the cards in that situation. How about that? Alright, let's look at what we're doing on the board here. 300 and 400. 300. Do I have anyone I can back up? Kyo, Andy, Kudamaro. No. Let's put the beefiest guy out. Dude, they're just letting us through. I guess it makes sense. You have to build your board up a little bit if you're down 3-1, but it's nice to be aggressive early, I guess. Oh, Ibuki. The Bopper. Which I believe is Dan Hibiki being punched by his own father. KO a character in your ring deals damage to a character equal to the KO'd character's BP. Meaning, kill one of your guys, deal that much damage to anything you want. That's usually a pretty good deal, especially for us. We have a full board. So being able to get some use out of what we have, and then being able to play another character is just us taking advantage of the card flow that we're looking at. I'm going to take out this Ibuki, just highest number. And drop down Tam Tam. He's got a sick mask, and has had a sick mask forever. When I was a kid, I loved that thing. Draw a card from the enemy's deck, then put a card from your hand into the enemy's discard pile. Okay. Not sure how that's going to affect me, to be frank. No clue. Do we have any backups? I don't think we do. So this is where the mechanic of the game comes in, because even though we're technically up on board, we don't have a ton of damage represented. So it's in our best interest to swing with everything for the moment, except some of these characters have abilities. And if you take a look, Mai lets us discard our hand to redraw, which is pretty strong. Whereas Shingo lets us do 300 to Shingo and 300 to anything else. Considering Shingo is like almost dead, that's a bargain. We'll use that, get that ninja down to size, put something else out, then deal a little damage. Throw your cards at the cop like you're Reimu banishing a Ryokai. I am out of the Yu-Gi-Oh! Discourse. It's intimidating. It's like there's a ton of it, right? Pokemon, it's just like, I get it. They're stealing the animals. What else do I need to know? Yu-Gi-Oh! They're like rivalries and gods and dragons and ugh. Well, I'm in a good position, so I'm just going to keep being aggressive, see where it gets me. Eventually it'll help clear my bench. The more cards we're playing, the better chance we have to keep the pressure going. Except this is lethal, so never mind. Let's get the scratch. Baby! Woo! Let's get our reward. Look at that. I got a little tunic on. Oh ho 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 ho! This game knows who's playing right now, baby. It's June from Plasma Sword. She's dope. She's got cinnamon buns for hair. Respect that. It's decent ability too. And backs up with Chun-Li. Oh man, this game is directly throwing darts at my forehead. Why is he apologizing? He should not have to come out to these like teenagers and go, yo, I'm sorry for making you uncomfortable. You have to understand, I'm unemployed. I don't have a job. Wait a second! Things just got flipped around. Hey kids, you ever want to know how to hire a hitman? Good news, you don't even need to learn how to use Tor. You just head on down to the local park, find the nearest public ninja, beat beat him in a game of cards. This is no time to lapse this poor... No jokes about assassination, folks. We've got cards to get in there. Ruktilo says it's the local NEET cosplaying a ninja. Well, technically speaking, you would lose your NEET status if you left your house. Right? Or am I wrong there? Especially if this guy's well known. Although, no, maybe... That's the Batman question. Are you the man, or are you the mask? We're gonna go see Principal Lip. See what's going on with the National Honor Society. See who's threatening it. Never, ever, ever fuck with a woman that has trained a squirrel. She knows things you don't. She's seen corners of the universe that you've never been lucky enough to tread in. Alright, what's our opening hand look like? We've got a Ralph from Metal Slug, a Tarma from Metal... Oh man, what a mug on this guy. Shingo. He's got a headband, lots of energy, we love it. Carol. It's a crystal ball, I think. It just looks like a big bubble gum, though. Mai is forever the best, though, so we're just going to drop her in there. She's got power. She's got a very useful ability for us. Not much to worry about there. We have more to worry about. That card's going to increase the character they just played's battle power. Bring it up, I think, 500. It's going to be very close to our Mai. Just kind of assume we're on even ground at this point in time, although they did have to burn 2 cards to get to where we did with 1. Ha! Okay, gotcha. Thank you, Rutilos. NEET is an acronym for Not Employed in Education or Training. So it's different than a Kikomori. See, we're learning. I'm going to use Mai's ability here and draw a new grip. New hand, so to speak. Love it. Love it. Love it. Look at this guy again. Yeah, buddy. We have enough SP from just playing characters, so let's juice Shingo a little bit. That puts us in a good position either on offense or defense next turn, depending on what they play. Oh, it's our son, Oro. The Turtle Man. The Nude Man. The beginning of your turn raises this character's BP by 100 points. That is an interesting little design, right? You're incentivized to get it off the board, but they're incentivized to not use it. Push and pull. More increasing. So we're getting there. What are our cards doing? Raise the character's BP. 300 damage. So the difference is we can't use these R cards right now. These are reaction cards. So we can use them in reaction to being attacked. It's in our best interest to just fill that board up. And I think I'm going to try to start picking off Oro here with Shingo's ability. Really don't want that thing to grow out of control. And they're chump blocking, as in just blocking without having much of an effect. Which does take care of Oro, which is what I was worried about. So let's see what's... That's probably why, second Oro. Don't love it? Don't love it. So we get to choose whether or not to block. They're coming at us with 800. We throw Gelford out, that'll knock 300 off it. I'm going to go ahead and take that. I want to make sure we can use that third character space next turn. And we'll use Shingo's ability again. Just really cut that off early. Get to swinging. Oh, that card's cute. Go home. Shuffle all reaction cards from your discard pile into your deck, draw a card. It does literally nothing. Mai's been out since turn 1, has drawn us a new hand of cards, and is still at 400. She's a pro. She's a champ. Hideo from rival schools. Looking pissed. Pretty heavy on the SP. Well, first let's use one of these reaction cards. We've got some SP to burn. Vacation increases something's battle power. Let's put that on Kim Suel. That way our block here will be a little better for us than just a trade. I feel like we've got a decent amount of board control. Shingo's down to a 100, so let's just burn that ability. Get him off the board and get something new down. The question is, do we need to draw a new hand? Our characters are not great, but Bopper is very good, and Robot Punch is also very good. I think I'm going to choose to put the pressure game on. Just swing. One of the better strategies I found in this game, and I've put a lot of hours in it, is trying to ensure that the opponent is always at least a 1 character disadvantage from you. So if you have a 3-1 advantage on board, say, it's really to your advantage, no matter what, to keep the pressure on and make sure they do not get up to a 2 or a 3 character board. It's much harder to punch through once you're at parity. That card they played returned everything to everybody's hand, which I'm actually fine with. Well, reset their attack skills, their BP. So just drop Mai again and see what happens. Their deck is really heavy on SP cards. You can see that everything they're playing has big SP bonuses. A lot of big high value action cards, which are kind of difficult to counter or strategize around. But I think we're in a good position here. There's our good position down the toilet. I mean, it's not down the toilet, but not what you want to see. When this character damages the enemy, steal up to 3 SP from the enemy. Okay. Go ahead and put down Tam Tam. He's big, and I've got Cham Cham as backup. That puts me in a good position. So, I have some options here. I can attack with both of them, which I think is the right call. My hope is that they block Mai. I don't think they will. Makes a little more sense to cut off this Kim Suel. But leaving the opponent with a 100 BP character in a slot is... It's not a good position to be in. It's a character you want to get rid of. It's a character you're going to be maybe making some bad attacks or some bad blocks just to get off the board. Here, we have enough SP saved up so that I don't even need to block this guy. We'll just use our Robot Punch card. That'll take care of that. And you notice they didn't play another character card, which means we were successful in really tamping the pressure down. They've run out of resources, i.e. cards in hand, in this game. And we've still got a pretty good grip. So even though our board is, I'd say, solid, not great, I think we're going to be winning pretty quick here. Nothing. Empty board. So let's just put an end to this. Look at our prizes. Oh no. I got tricked. I think we still have enough to put it over the top. That's very funny. Get out of here. Alright, let's look at what we got. Genjuro from Samsho. Counterattack is this game's version of blocking, so it's an attack-only character. That's still quite a decent amount of BP, though. Also got another Athena. Sick. Her ability I don't think is overly useful in the kind of decks that I like to build, but 600 is very good to start out with. And this last card, Heritage. KO any number of characters in your ring. Draw a card for each KO'd character. I think this is basically unplayable. There are better ways to draw cards. So we're gonna go ask a card pro. Hyper Newtown Super Southern Area. Oh man, that's a card shop with a brick floor, which is wild. I'm into it. Tough advice, Borf. Not enough training so you can't protect your cards. Like combat training? Whoa, whoa, whoa! Why are we slurring people in the translation? I know SNK's first mascot was named G-Mantle. I'm pretty sure the G was not short for gay. Relatively sure. Could be wrong. Remember what this one does. KO your character in the ring, gain HP equal. That's no good. We're not going to do that. Okay. Angry Dad. Okay, okay. It's a shot across the bow. First turn. Pretty rude. Who can back up Athena? Kensu, Chin... Probably Chun-Li. Alright. I'm just gonna swing. One thing I think that this game does really well is by limiting the number of characters you have in play to 3, it really restricts your decision making without, to me, feeling like putting me in an unfair or unwinnable situation. If my decision making is restricted, that means all of my individual decisions have a little bit more weight and meaning to them. And I like that in this game. You know, when you only have 3 characters, you have to really care about the balance of those 3 and how they play along. But ultimately, it's the sort of game where you know, the decisions you're making are, do you swing at your opponent's face or do you not swing at opponent's face? You're not doing calculus in there. I think one of the reasons why people are intimidated from games like Magic or Yu-Gi-Oh! Is they see it as a large and rather complex decision-making process. And a game like this might be a little bit lower stress for those folks, although I would argue it's, you know, just as strategic. So we're in an interesting position here. We've got a 500, a 600, and a 200. Across the table, we've got a 500 and a 500. I mean, technically speaking, we have the advantage, but if we pass the turn and let them refill their board for free, we're going to lose that advantage. So we should probably attack. Normally speaking, you wouldn't swing with a 200 character because, you know, you're not going to get a lot of damage out of it. But in this instance, I think we're going to use this Unite ability that allows us to get some extra damage, along with an attack. We're going to swing with everything. And got rid of Athena, which is great for us. Next turn, we want that space to be open so we can refill it with something with more BP. And by using the Unite ability, we've got 1100 coming their way. They feel almost obligated to block, and because we use the Unite skill, we're going to punch through for that extra 600 and keep that pressure going. We don't even have a reaction card. Never mind. And this isn't really much of a threat to us. They may be attacking, but what really matters here is the life total. One of the bigger problems that we are going to have to look at, though, our hand's bad. We have a bad hand right now, and you can't really smart your way out of that. So I'm going to give up a little of advantage here to use Mai's ability. Draw a new hand. Hope that, like, we're going to set ourselves up for a decent next couple of turns. It's better than nothing. We have 3 SP now. I'm going to use this Awakening ability on Amano. Awaken him, get that BP up, so I've got a decent-sized blocker if they decide to get fresh. Bopper, this is they KO something and deal that much damage to something else. Confusing decision, but it is, you know, just the AI. Oh, T-Hawk. Not too scary, right? It's only 400. Do we block? They're 500 to our 300. I think so. I think that's worth it. I'm not totally sure, but I think that's worth it. Our Mai is still at 600. You know, she's gonna be the big boy in play, so that's not bad for us. Here, the question is if we want to pop Mai's ability again for a new hand. And I think I'm looking for something decent sized here to stabilize the board, and that hand's not going to do it. This, on the other hand, I like a lot more. Kimsu Illis 500. That puts us in a very stable place for the next couple of turns. We can kind of rebuild. Got a backup. Oh no. That's a big boy right there. Characters with the lowest BP raise their BP to match this character's BP. I hate that, because they're all huge now. Oh, that's terrible. Well, we're gonna block. I mean, I'm not gonna sit here and be totally trashed, but our chances of winning this game has, as Scott Steiner would say, drastically gone down. We need gas. What do we got, baby? None of this is gas. But I also can't really afford to use Mai's ability again. I'm going to need her for blocks. Too much beef on the board. I could trade Maya 1 for 1, but they've got a pretty stuffy board, and I'm going to want to whittle their attack power down. So I'm just going to throw some smaller guys out in front of them. And the idea is to leave them with a couple of 100s and 200s that are going to be harder to push through to kill me with. So I can buy myself a few turns. I gotta use my ability now. I'm pretty much dead. Pretty much. But there could be a way out. You never know. I like that. We got a Fio. Fio will be a blocker for us, and more importantly, give us enough SP to use one of those punchy cards. But that backup is going to kill us, I think. Yeah, we're done. We're done. Oh, what a humiliating loss. On stream, even. Although, you know, this game is, this game's pretty quick. I bet I can get that win back for the end of the night. But I think after this match, I'm going to go in and tweak the deck a little bit. We've gotten some new cards, you know. Put them to use. Let's do some deck work, folks. So this is the deck building screen. I'll show you the cards that you have in your collection. They're broken down by S&K, Capcom, Action, and Reaction, which are the only card types in the game. So we're going to take Terry here. I'm going to take Alfred here. Genjiro's got that high BP. We want that to press the advantage. This deck does seem to be a little more aggressive. You know I got to get my girl June in there. And let's take out some of these cards that I'm not crazy about. Raw Shield, Lightning. Let's see what Best Shot does. For the top 3 cards of your deck, put 1 in your hand and discard the rest. My card's baller. That's a great card. I'm not getting rid of that. Robot Punch, Vacation. Yeah, so I kind of like where we're at with this. Need to cut 1 card, so let's just cut one of our little chumps. Leave Pylon. Goodbye. Sorry. Ruktolo says, with only 3 slots, the sacrifice cards are probably to let you open slots and get something for that. It's a question of if it's better than having that character attack or defend. That's a good point. The cards that allow you to sacrifice do have their purposes, but the nice thing about that ability is there's a lot of cards that give you the opportunity to do that in the game, meaning that you know, how much you can get out of that sacrifice you can leverage. I just didn't think a lot of those abilities were worth it. Whereas something that would let me draw some cards or deal some direct damage, I'd be totally down for. Beam Splash X says, I see a real card on the webcam right now, I tell you what. I am sick and fucking tired. Just kidding. Hi, Sid. Nice to see ya. Called me a card. Yeah, that's a synonym for like a someone that's distrustful. You know? That ego's being chipped away. Mostly by these humiliating losses in this card game, but like, you know, there's an environment around, some stuff in the air. Chun-Li is getting sauced at the beach. Let's go. That's all I need. Let's see what they already put down. Ryu Haku. Toto from Art of Fighting. Don't care for him. I've got a good mustache, though. You know, points for, you know, profile. I do like that my player character does seem to have, like, the obligatory 90s goggles. I'm wearing them shits indoor all the time. What do we have over here? We got that Fei Ling. Okay. Only 4 hundos. I think I'm gonna attack with Maya and see what happens. Oh, the back gate is open is what happens. I slipped in the backyard and poured salt all over the garden. Let's look at the rest of this hand right quick. Is this worth keeping? Carol. Theo. Amano. Clark. Nah. Nah, I don't think so. We love it. We love him. More Ralph. We know who that guy is right there. That's who we're digging for. That's who we're looking for. And since we know we're going to be popping off with Terry next turn, I'm going to get as aggressive as I can, clear off their board as much as possible, and let our good friend Mr. Bogard do all the work. You know, it is missing voice samples for Terry, which is a damn shame. That said, if a card game had regular voice samples in it, and I think Hearthstone does for some of its rares and mythics, I would probably put my head through a wall. Brick, plaster, drywall, it doesn't matter. Yeah, look at that guy. He's got a hat on and he knows it. Versus Rick Stroud, huh? I'm just gonna swing and see if they take the bait. Perfect. Them clearing up that slot is great for us. Whittles down their defense against Terry. Question is, do we block with Terry? And the answer is no. We can spare the life, I think, at this point in time, and having that 1,000 points on the board to pressure really does make a difference. We also just drew something that'll make that a bit higher than 1,000, which will be even better for us. Let's get our boy Ralph out there. Let's make Terry even larger than he already is. Larger, blonder. And I'll use a Unite attack as well. The advantage of that is I can put Kim Sewell out front. He takes any damage that would be exchanged first, which means I get to clear him off the board and preserve anything left over for Terry. So even after this block, and even after all the damage that's going through to the other player, Terry's still in relatively good shape for next turn. That's our boy, and we're protecting him like a college football player. It probably should be canon that Terry played college football. I mean, now that I'm thinking about it, high school football at least. Terry did not go to college. Now I gotta think that out a little bit. There's no way he went to college. Like, I'm pretty sure he like avenged his father by like age 19. He's a go-getter. Vengeance, justice, call it what you want. I didn't lose this time, and that feels nice. W Writer. P change A. Okay. Discard a character card, gain SP equal to that character's SP. I don't care for that. Not losing was definitely vengeance. Well put, Sid. Okay, break up, KO all backed up characters. You know, in a world where this game has a competitive environment, this could be tech. This could be something that gets brought in against a certain type of deck, or... I'm not playing it in this thing, but Alright, I want to go trade. I want to see what he's got in the store. Yo, Borf, how's your deck, Borf? Alright, so what do we got here? We got Mature. Now look. Fighting game lesbian tier list, she's at the top. But, you know, they didn't stat her appropriately. She's not that appealing as a card. KO this character unless you discard a character card. Honestly, like with his stats are very, very spicy. That's probably worth it. You usually have some bum cards sitting around in your hand. That could be worth trading for. Clone. Discard a character card with an ability. A character in your ring gains that ability. A cool design, but like does literally nothing. And it wants me to exchange Lee Pylon. Or do I have to give him 3 cheap cards in exchange for this rare Setsuna? Goodbye, Julie. We're invested in Sword Boys. And the market is good. I gotta make sure I put him in my deck, though. I gotta go back to school and harass someone else. I'm gonna remove 1 Kathy from the deck, since she does nothing. Let's go, baby. Get back in these games. We have to go to the rooftop where the cool kids hang out. Whoa! Lady JoJo's is on the roof, and she's fresh. Oh man, this guy's profile, I'm into it. That's a hell of a sweater combo. You trio of fools? Is she smoking? What is going on with her? People call them the Clash Trio, the hardliners of respect and responsibility. That's not a cool thing to be, or to be known as. I pay my bills constantly. But Borf, honestly, the Fool Trio is more accurate. Oh, Sid asked, is she smoking? Yeah, he answers his own question, but you know what, coincidentally, I agree. Who's the fool? Get on outside! Get on outside. What's up, jerks? So we are trying to harass people for funds for our after-school club. Like we're dues. We're dues collectors, and we're supposed to be upset and like angry at like the weird, like the weird folks on the roof. There's like a cool lady that smokes. We're the nerds. I hope we get I hope we get bullied. Even cool kids get robbed sometimes. A lesson we all could learn. You have to mess around with us. My bully deck. I hate those science bullies. Whoa, this guy. I assume too much. This guy's on a bean. I'm intimidated. Borf. Well, well, well. It's just us and the Bean Man. Just draw that card. Why has his tongue out all the... It's like my cat. Character becomes a random character found in the game. What? Whoa! He cast a magic spell that turned like a burly lumberjack type into a femboy instantly. Let's keep drawing those cards. We got nothing better to do. And I will also use this best shot card and maybe fish for something decent. Well, well, well. Sometimes when you're fishing, you find a muscle man. That's how the old aphorism goes. And just like last time, we're going to try to wear them down, so whatever will create the most attrition, whatever will leave them with the smallest BP characters in their ring. Terry's coming out next turn, he's going to do some work. I think, unlike last game, he's probably not going to be the finisher, but if we can leverage how much BP he has and we don't get caught off guard by like backups or action cards, it's 1,000 is a lot to grind through. Reduces each player's SP to 0. Stand mimicking Rio. Or hugging or doing show tunes or something. It's good either way. Do I block? I think I blocked the 500 here. Goodbye, Donovan from Darkstalkers. Alright, finally got a big boy. And Terry's got an ability, you can tell from the little red dot there. The shape determines what type it is. If it's a triangle ability, happens when you play the card. If it's a circle ability, it's static, meaning they have it all the time. If it's a square ability, it's an activated ability, meaning you have to go in and individually click on that card to use it. His ability is just that he can attack and block, he doesn't get frozen, which comes in handy here when we're putting the pressure on. If we take a look at their board, it's pretty weak right now. 1, 3, 2, versus 500, 500, 400. We're in a good place. I think now's when we put the pressure on and make them kind of, I don't know, see if we can get any sort of leverage here, long term. Amakusa. KO all other characters in your ring. Gain 3 SP for each KO'd character. Okay. If you got something to do the SP, that makes sense. And Amakusa's big, but I do think that didn't do a ton overall. I don't think I have any backups here, but you never know. Yeah, might as well just swing, swing, swing. Amakusa's nail game is on point. Damn. That might be bled. I could be overreaching there. But you know, if it's not, good job. Lord Raptor making the Sonic Adventure 2 pose. You know, the one where you're like bent over backwards and you're also doing this with your hand at the same time for some reason. Our hand's not great, so we're just going to want to look at the numbers there. Fio and Tarma can back each other up, so that might be the right play, actually. Backups are very, very good for maintaining momentum. I'm just going to keep swinging. We're going to lose Terry eventually, but that's okay. As long as we continue playing cards every turn, we'll be in good place. Jetta. When this character damages an enemy, draw a card. That's pretty sick. Also, he's got a magic raincoat. Alright, so let's have Fio back up Tarma here. Put some BP up. Throw Hayate out there. Keep on swinging. Yeah, Mike brings up a good point here. The thing about this game I liked is how you can manipulate your opponent's field by getting one of theirs to 100 and then refusing to kill it. You can really give yourself some breathing room. He brings up a really good point here where, like, this game is largely about tempo more than anything else, which is why I love it. Being able to control how quickly their stuff comes out and exactly when they can choose, like, get the most out of an attack and get the least out of an attack. That sort of strategy really does overlay when to play your cards or in what order. You have to be very aware of your opponent's board. So I've got SP to burn here. I'm just going to use these Unite attacks and try to get one of these 100s off the board. Using a Unite attack will not only punch through, but, you know, kind of guarantee that. I don't want to fight Sasquatch. He's, like, super cute. He's the baby. We're kind of getting down to the point where it's a grind. I mean, I'm going to need to get something decent sized out next turn to keep this up. I like that his board is empty, don't get me wrong, but my guys are very dinky. That is a heck of a play. Let's go. Again, he can't block. That's fine. We don't need him to. In fact, I'll be sure after this thing that if he's down to 300, and we've got Genjuro at 700, Terry at 100, I can probably cash in some of that SP. I play something that gives me a +3, like Carol. And suddenly I have the ability to do that Unite attack, and that should guarantee that I punch through. Whereas, you know, he could just block the 700, and then we'd be back on that loop of me only doing 100 or 200 every turn. Instead, we're punching through, getting a clean win. Now, I was lucky enough to play this a bit when it came out, initially in the early 2000s. I worked at a retro game store, and all of us were complete freaks and weirdos for this game. The Versus is really, really stellar. It's a phenomenal card game, and I play a lot of stinking card games. Well, look at that. We didn't even need to trade for Mature. Here she is. Who else do we have? That's my fucking boy right there from Street Fighter 3. I am amazed that we have not just, like, spent 7 different sessions playing Street Fighter 3 on this stream, because that's all that Mike and I do when we're in the same room. This character damages the enemy, and we can't play AC cards. That card's just great, and he's big and beefy, and he's cool, and it gives me an excuse to look for a Zangief. That's a win. This guy, on the other hand, is a total freak, and he's, you know, he's kind of like a close to a joke character in Third Strike. But in this game, he's actually quite good. When this character counterattacks, its BP becomes the same as the counterattack's BP, which may be a little confusing, but essentially, no matter what it blocks, it will then scale up to be large enough to kill it. So, you know, even though that doesn't look like it, that would trade with a Terry Bogard like that. It would just instantly go up to 1,000 and knock it off the board. We gotta do a gauntlet here. We gotta fight all 3 of these delinquents who've never even heard of paying National Honor Society dues. There's mine. Oh, Charlotte, that card art is so sick. Folks, she's got something pointy. Since our first couple of characters are actually kind of beefy, 500, 600, I'm going to play this Awakening on my, kind of get like big beef train rolling kind of early, see if I can get that pressure going. Shuffle a card from your discard pile into your deck. Also does nothing. I mean, it does something, but its effect on the board state and what happens in the game is so minimal. We've got backup. This game is not going to last very long. So one of the reasons why I'm checking out the sequel here, this game has never gotten an official release in English, although I believe SNK was kind of threatening to do that on Twitter earlier this year. The release of the first game on Switch is like a really phenomenal version of this that has verses and trading and all that good stuff. This second edition of the game is unique. It's not split into 2 games like the first one was. The first game was kind of split a la Pokemon into SNK and Capcom. They also added something like 200 plus characters and added a bunch of balance stuff to this version. So I think, you know, this is definitely the best version of the game. Although it's not available right now. There's also a very grim and unfortunate DS sequel to this game, which is... It tries very hard to be something very different than this game, and doesn't do a great job of it, to be frank. It's one of my least favorite games by this company, and I've played a lot of their games. The DS game is stinky. Well-intentioned, but stinky. Well, I can't really do anything with what's on the board, so we're just going to keep swinging. And now I'm kind of stuck in the unfortunate position where I have a couple of turns where I haven't played anything. That's going to set me at a disadvantage, generally speaking. And then you also have the issue with both of my characters are at 100 now at this point. And the fact that they're at 100 means that, like, I'm not putting any pressure. I'm not really doing much as I'm attacking. I'm just kind of hoping that they'll let me trade. Not a good position to be in. Not in the driver's seat. In fact, I'm going to cash in Mai's ability here. Draw a new hand. Pretty useful. That's what I was looking for. Something a little bigger. about putting out those bigger guys. I'm going to draw a new hand as well. You know, if we don't have Terry in hand, we should be thinking about how to get Terry in hand. When Poochie's not on the screen, etc., etc. This is a grindier match for certain. I don't think anyone really has a strong advantage at the moment. So of course we have no Terry to work with, but June has some heft to her. She can deal it out. And I've got a lot of SP going, so let's get rid of this Mai, or at least try to get rid of this Mai by Unite attacking. You're gonna keep attacking with that little thing and try to convince me to block, but we're really good on health, so there's no real reason to. Just keep building this fort out and swinging. Oh no! We got Galactica Phantomed! Goodbye. What a strong card. Well, it takes us right out of the driver's seat, right into the roller coaster cab. At Six Flags of eating shit. Hand's no good. Not really. I mean, Marco, I think, is our best bet just from his numbers. We don't really have enough SP to do anything interesting. Question is, do we attack? I think we actually hold back a little bit and see what happens here. They might get really aggressive. Yes, they did. They got very aggressive. So they're trying to put the pressure on us. That's okay. I think we're in an okay position to deal with it. I don't know how we're going to close the door at this point in time. We're going to need a little more gas, but we can hold out, I think, for a little while for sure. So we've got Clark and Ralph here. Let's put Clark down. And even though this is iffy because it leaves us without a second blocker, I'm going to go ahead and do this while the attack is actually open. Theoretically, it should make them less likely to attack, although we'll see. There we go. There's that breathing room we were looking for. Clark's got some backup now. Alfred can attack the turn he comes out. Let's see if we can't just knock down the door here, folks. Their reaction cards are good. Whenever a character counterattacks the united attack, prevent the piercing damage. Not great for us. I mean, not bad. We'll be fine with what's on board. But it does take the win out of our hands. So the question is, do we have enough on board to press? Do we want to press the advantage? And I think we probably do. They're going to be forced to block at least one of these, if not both. I don't know that these are the best trades for us, but it does allow us to keep getting stuff on the board. And, you know, if we draw Terry next turn, we're not going to regret having that character slot empty. Okay. Okay, we'll drop another Marco down. Keep swinging. I mean, it'll get there eventually. It's a grind, but we'll get there eventually. As you can see, once you get wiped down to having little to no board, even if I only had one additional character on board, I could use that to force them into bad blocks. I could use that to pressure their life total. It is hard to recover. So they're attacking. I'm going to play a reaction card to kill them, so I don't have to worry about it. You can use it to ruin their credit, and that's the game plan, baby. Hope you weren't planning on starting a small business soon, because I'm ruining that credit. Theo can back up Marco. Marco's no longer frozen. Let's just crash for one big united attack and call it game, baby. That's like one of the first characters I don't recognize. I have no idea who Tome is. Talma? It's Toma. Who do we got here? Jin Saudame. KO this character and an enemy character. That card rules. That thing's going in the deck real quick. It's from Cyberbots and Marvel Capcom, oddly enough. Brother Search! Look through the top of your deck and put the first AC card into your hand. Discard the rest. That's an interesting card. I mean, you're milling through your deck to find that AC card. If you only have one or two AC cards, you could end up with a huge chunk of your deck in the discard pile. If you have a reason to do that, this card is probably a big part of that strategy. Lucky Kitty. That card's just good. Anything that draws cards is good. You look like chumps, but you want to fight? I'll take what you bring and send it back 100 times worse. If these are bullies, it's like... Oh my god, yes! I can't be bullied by her. She's too cool. She's also smoking a backwood, apparently. How do we know the game's gonna be okay? Turn 1 Terry, that's how. So I just saw that I drew June, so I just played June. Pretty easy. We're on the Terry train either way. That's a grand to the face. It's rough out here. Let's get the Ralph and Clark train going. Pretty sure we just want to unite attack, put June in front. Preserve our Terry. Smash in for 1 billion damage. You can use it to ruin their credit. I'm ruining their credit just for you, buddy. Trying to follow through that, keep the mission in mind. They're attacking. Can I play a reaction card? Yes, I can go on vacation. Terry is going on vacation. We're going to back up Clark. Got big boys on the team now. We don't have enough to do a Unite. That's going to cost 5 SP. But this is going to create enough trouble. As is. Especially because they've only got 100 health left. This was a short game, folks. What we got? Shangfei. Eagle. Sure. Engo Kogeki. Deals 100 points of damage to an enemy. Not great, but very cute. Cute reference. This high school bully is apparently from deep in the Midwest. We got a oof and a no big whoop in the same sentence. Add an ope when they get in your way and you've hit the hat trick. That's facts. But also, to be fair, this is also like pretty big Midwestern energy where like these bullies basically got the information that you get on your average Facebook page. Like, someone is going around and stealing the copper wiring out of my house. And like, just because you heard about it on Facebook, you're going to threaten to beat the shit out of them. That's Midwest mindset, folks. I'm using the copper wiring thing as an example of something I've seen multiple times. I'm from the Midwest. I mean only love. Gentle, biting love. Well, I think I'm going to call it a night from here, folks. Thank you so much for showing up and saying howdy, hanging out, checking things out. We will hopefully be back to normal as of next week, whatever normal looks like. But I appreciate you spending some time with me tonight on this very quiet, vibe-space stream. We'll see